Hi. So what I would like to achieve, I've got 4 hours to nip down for a while. What I'd like to achieve today is getting the oil extraction pump onto the sump of the engine instead of the normal nut that's on there, and then I want to slacken everything off and try and align the engine properly. Sounds simple, doesn't it? It's so awkward in there that it's going to be an effort, and 4 or 5 hours might not be enough, but we'll see how it goes, because once that's done, I feel like I can commission the engine properly and we'll be ready to set off and bring her home. When I bring her home, then I'll be able to really get stuck into the fit out more and getting it more suitable inside. Okay.
Yeah, I looked at getting the sump pump on, but it wasn't going to happen, so I'm just concentrating on aligning the engine at this point.
Neglecting the video a bit. So I've loosened off a couple of bolts here. You might even be able to see, you might even be able to see that there's more clearance on the left than there is on the right. And that's, I'm talking about between here and here, yeah. There's more clearance here than there, so that means that the engine is this way. It needs to come across at the back to swing that in. So I'm loosening off the feet. Somebody's told me this down at the club. If I loosen off the feet here, then I can knock it over at the back if I use a brass drift against the bottom of one of these. I don't know if I'm going to have the room to swing a hammer. That's the only thing. If I can't, then I'm going to have to take the weight off these altogether by putting the engine crane, this thing, taking that to bits and trying to reassemble it on the deck. Obviously, I'd rather not do that if I don't have to. So I'll carry on with loosening these for now.
So I know it doesn't look that bad on camera, but it's actually really tight. You can barely move the ratchet head around. Funny. So you just have to take my word for it that I'm pretty sore and stiff after doing this. I learned later they call it boat yoga.
So the next thing, now I've loosened those off, I'm going to measure the gap between the coupling and the drive plate. That's what you call it. Sounds about right. Using my feeler gauge set. It's just tried to pop apart in my hand. The milled wheel came off as I opened the box. Luckily I was able to catch it, or it went everywhere. That's what you get for buying cheap. What can I do? I've got a lot to buy. Start off with them offering up the feeler gauges. Try and see what size that gap is. It's bigger than I thought. So I'll try 0.9 mil. Yeah, it's bigger than that. Try 1 mil. It's snug. Okay. And the other side is way down, I would say, from that. Let's try 0.3 mil. Yeah, doesn't even go in. 1.2. Yeah, that goes in. So it's between 0.2 and 0.3. 0.23. Yep, that fits. Okay. 0.25. Yep. 0.33. Yeah, definitely too big. I've lost the next one now. Tried 0.3, didn't I? Didn't fit. Oh, it does almost fit. That's the next one down. 0.28. Yeah, 0.28 just fits. And what did I say that was? 0.9. Yeah. So that's, 0.62 difference. Which I suspect adds up to more than the 2 degrees out of alignment you're permitted with these flexible couplings. So I'm going to give it some welly now. We'll see if that changes. So I'm told it's best to use brass to knock them over with. Apparently you do that, it's called a drift. So I've got this old heavy brass bolt which I've tucked to bits. I was going to use the actual bolt, but it's been rounded off, so I think that might slip. Before I start grinding that, I'll use the case. So I'll put that up against the foot of the engine. See if that does the job. Lump hammer in honour of David from Cruising the Cut. That was his favourite tool, I believe, in his early days of DIY. So let's try my own. Let's see or not. I'll see the back of my leg. Oh. Measurement, you never know. It didn't work. I didn't think it was working. Just can't swing the hammer without hitting that old bulkhead. So I can't give it any welly whatsoever. Just try one more thing before I start bringing the crane up, and that's to use a crowbar to try and lever it over. But I have to be really careful not to damage the engine, of course. What I've done is brought up the engine crane and I'm dangling it over the engine. Now I have had to overextend it here way past its limit. It's probably about 25, 28 centimetres past where its extreme limit should be. However, this is a 1-ton crane. That's 250 at that stop, 250 kilos. So yeah, I mean it shouldn't be taking much more than 100 at this extension. But I'm not going to take the complete weight of the engine. I just want to lift it off its back a little bit so I can pivot it around the front. So we'll try that. Right, I'll go and jack that up from the back of the boat. See how we get on. Slippers off. That's going to catch. Move it over. Reposition that. I hear the sandwich van coming. I wonder what that noise is. Complete reposition. There's going to be some of the weight taken off. Lovely. Right. So, get a bit of a lever, I'll hammer it, might be better. I think that's moved a little bit. Could be fooling myself. I guess we'll see when I put the feeler gauges down. Wishful thinking and all that. Oops, sorry. the feeler gauge.
Right, next plan, loosen off all these lock nuts. Try jacking it up again. I've screwed that set screw a long way down as well. Surprised I've done it that far. Just trying to get a bit more flexibility in the setup. Try the gauge. If it wasn't cramped enough, now I've got this flipping crane across the middle of the hatch. Oh, that is so much better. That has sorted it. Excellent. I'm so relieved, because I didn't want to wear my prop shaft out. Question is, will it remain sorted now when I tighten up the nuts and release it? This is the only way to find out. I know the top one's been moving, but that's because it'd go into the position of the nylon nut on the bottom of the threaded shaft hasn't changed. So it gets that far, then it stops, and then I can tighten it on. So it should be the same height at the back and the front as it was. I am tightening them up in a different order because it was over to this side. I'll tighten this side on first. And I'll check the clearance at all 4 clock positions once I've got it all tightened on and put down again. Oh, I need a 19mm socket, don't I? What is that? Oh, is it 15? I can't even tell. Such a rusty spanner. That's how I found it. I could have done the job. tight isn't the word. Flipping heck. Very contortionist. Not easy with my belly. Oh, I did that one already. What's this end I need to do? Such a fun challenge when you can't see what you're doing. You can barely feel it. Okay. Release this off.
I promise you that noise was the engine crane releasing, not me releasing.
Okay. It's much more equal now. There's still a slight gap, but that's fine. I haven't tightened down yet. But that is, by eye, it's aligned nicely. So I'm measuring now, so the gap is each side. Actually, point.
So the battery died at this point, but mission accomplished anyway. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.